Woo, boy.
Happy
what?
Friggin' Saturday.
Happy Straturday.
Saturday, and neither one of us are playing a Strat.
But I did post our blues video. Oh, my PlayStation's doing weird shit now. Hang on, let me. There we go. Okay, it was like boing. Okay,
Yeah.
So there's a random moment. We're only like 2 minutes in.
Yeah, well, now I kind of want a PlayStation. I don't have one.
It's you know, there's fanboys for PlayStation, there's fanboys for Xbox. I've got both, just depending on what I'm in the mood for. But yeah, I posted our Happy Straturday blues video. So if anybody of y'all follow us on social media, it is on our Facebook pages. So our little, remember our blues piece from last week? It was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah,
yeah,
we had Strats.
Yes. So, anyways, how was your week? Has it...
Man. It's like, I was happy today was my first Saturday in like 2 weeks. Like my last 2 Saturdays, I've been busy all day.
Yeah.
So today was like, okay, I'm not leaving. I'm staying home.
Yeah.
Doing some shit. And, you know, I said I was going to get some recording done.
Right.
I did not.
What happened?
But, oh man. Well, okay. My neighbor came over.
Yeah.
And just figured out he plays guitar. So I was like, oh, we'll come over. We'll jam, you know.
Yeah.
So he comes over and has a flute, like a bamboo, like a flute. It sounded amazing.
Really?
And I was like, yeah. So anyway, so I had my Strat, it's had ran through my pedal board. The delay kicked on like super moody, you know, like super creepy.
Yeah.
And then into the Blues Junior with just the
reverb,
just crank. And then he was kind of playing like this tribal deal. And so I can't really replicate because I don't remember what I was playing now. But,
what? What? Come on.
But it was like, I don't know, it was like that opened up a whole new thing. And so now all day I've had like these like Middle Eastern melodies going on, and I'm like, holy crap, you know, it's like there's just something else but that's where it comes from, you know.
Yes. You remember, what was it, a week or two ago? I asked you about the sitar, and I've been listening, especially at work. I've been sort of in a sitar, and for those of you who don't know what a sitar is, it's an Indian, Middle Eastern, I say more Indian style guitar. It's one of those huge, long. I mean, it's over a foot long or right at a foot long. It's a huge guitar. No, I'm sorry. Anyways. But as soon as you said like that sort of yeah. And remember, I asked you if you could replicate, because there's a pedal for a sitar, and there isn't that style of music is so fascinating. I don't know
Yeah,
what it is.
And have you seen a sitar?
Not in person.
No,
They're huge.
seeing these guys, the guy's like sitting on a rug, Indian style.
Yeah.
This guitar.
You said Indian style.
You know?
Oh.
But dude, they're sitting there on this rug
Yeah.
with this guitar that's like, God, I mean, they're
It's
way
huge.
up there.
Yeah. I said it's
And
a
they're
foot.
just-
It's huge. Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing, and it's
Yes.
it doesn't look like a precision instrument. There's
Right.
like, I don't know, all the tuning keys are all over the place.
Yes.
Like, how do you tune that thing?
Well,
And,
it's crazy because there's the notes that the strings that you strum, and then there's actually, from what I understand, there's actually strings, I guess, behind it or somewhere that they resonate. So you have these resonating these tones, and we were talking about tones, and I think that's what fascinates me about the sitar is you get these really neat tones that you just don't get anywhere
They're incredible.
else. You can't replicate them. I guess you can try with effects. Have you tried?
I have. I've done some kind of a tape delay type of deal where I've cranked it all the way where it's like immediately responsive.
Yeah.
And I'm still not getting there. I'm not getting that jingly, because it almost has a bell tone to it.
Yeah, it does.
And and it doesn't even, it's kind of a mix between a stringed instrument and like an xylophone or something. It's that weird ringy.
There's
but we
like
were
harmonics or something's going on there.
Yeah, and just the way they play it too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and their hands are like your sitar players.
Yeah.
It looks like their fingers are like a foot long. I mean, they're just like all over it. But it's hard to play. That's an uncomfortable way to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could. It's Lord willing, if I ever get famous and end up on a stage somewhere, like, there's not going to be any guitar tricks. It's straight horizontal.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were going to talk about tone, and you had some tone tips for.
Well, that's the thing is that we've talked about tones before, but we never really went into A, what tones are, and B, how do you use them? Because I think when we just talk about tones, in fact, it was recently, the last year or so, that you've really, in fact, you were responsible, for getting me into listening to tones, because
the
before...
The
dark side of the tones. That's right. Darth Vader of tones. That's right. That's right. We are the Sith.
Yeah.
Of tones.
Death Star is coming.
The Death Star. That gives you an idea for an album, or at least a song. I'll have to work on that.
We're gonna score the next Star Wars film.
They keep cranking that shit out, It's like
I'm still on I'm behind, man. I don't even. I'm still trying to figure the rest of it. There's so much going on.
It was perfect. You had 1 through 6. You did 3 through 6, 4 through 6, and 1 through 3. Then you start adding, and I'm lost.
Mike, I can't get my head around it.
I can't wrap it around. But for those of you who have watched our previous episodes and we've talked about tone, or if you're brand new to Guitar Dudes, which, by the way, thank you for subscribing, thank you for following us.
Got 2 new subscribers since last week.
2 new just this week, so thank you so much. But we've talked about tones. We've mentioned tones before, so I thought I would pass you off because you are especially with the electric guitar, you are the electric guitar guru of tones.
Your trailer park version.
Redneck. Guitar, redneck tonage. But
see, you have and there's 2 types of guitarists.
Right.
I'm gonna open up a bag of worms in the comments, but anyway. To me, there's like your
smoker's cough.
To me, there's especially when you're coming up, or really maybe even now, your players who, who can afford good gear, and
Yeah.
players who have to keep their shit running because
Yeah.
they cannot afford new gear.
Right.
And
Which
I'm
is
on
most
more
of
like
us.
this. Yeah,
That's
totally.
most of
It's
us.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like if something's rattling or something on my guitar, it's like, okay, I got to fix it myself because I can't run down to the guitar shop every time something,
Can I screw it or glue it?
screw it or glue it. It's yeah, duct tape or WD-40. Which one do you need?
If those two shit don't work, I don't know what to
And
say.
it's nothing wrong with it. So yeah, talking about tones, and a lot of people kind of attribute tone to just the sound that comes out of the amp,
Right. Exactly.
and
That's where I
and
was.
yeah, and there's just so much that goes into, and in a way that is correct, it's the sound that's
Yeah.
coming out of the amp, but in order for that to happen, it's like there's a million things that happen. Just think when you pluck your guitar string, look at all that has to, for that signal to come out.
And how you pluck it, if you're using a pick, if you're
Right.
finger style, even with an electric, from your guitar, what effects you're using, either on the amp itself, if
Yeah.
you're using a chain, like with pedals. There's a
Yeah.
lot going on with an electric, and I'll talk about acoustic in a little bit, but
Yeah.
there's a lot going on with the electric, though, as far as
Yeah.
tones go, that you can
Yeah.
create.
And I'll be on message boards and Facebook groups and stuff, and people will spend a fortune, going for a certain tone. They'll buy, well, I need a new guitar, or I need a new amp, and sometimes that's true.
Yeah.
But I think number one, you kind of need to know what tone are you going for,
Right.
like what's your point of reference? Okay, I want to sound like Keith Richards. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're going to listen to that Sticky Fingers album, and maybe
Right.
but a lot of and when people ask me about tone, I always tell them is don't go shopping yet. Let's look at what you have first.
Yes.
Let's lay it all out.
Yeah.
And number one is changing your strings.
Yeah.
That's that's the guitar. That's your
Strings.
bread and butter. And
Who would have
as
thought strings
Yeah.
would have made such a difference?
Yeah, and as strings age, when you first put them on, when I record, I don't like to record the day I put the strings on.
Right.
I like to wait like 2 or 3 days and let them
Yeah.
age just a little bit,
Yeah.
just to take some of that, that high end out of it.
Yeah.
And they do, and over time though, they'll become more and more muffled, and they won't be as crisp,
Right.
But yeah, number one is changing your strings and just keeping your guitar clean. Just your pots and stuff, your tone knobs and volume knobs and stuff.
And
Cleaning
your
those
fretboard.
out. Yeah, fretboard, everything. Keeping everything clean. Your pickups. If you've got an inch of dust on your pickups, they're not going to pick up that
Right.
signal that they need to pick up. So. So that's number one. I mean, you can kind of think of it like, when you're vacuuming your car,
Yeah.
you put you go to the car wash and put in like 75 cents, and it's like, it barely sucks.
Yeah.
It's like you're not getting anything out. So it's kind of the same thing when you're playing guitar. I mean,
Yeah.
the more, when it starts right here, and the more hurdles that note has to jump before it comes out of the amp, it's going to lose its character.
But even with the amp itself, I mean, I think that so many people just take for granted with their EQ settings. I think we've talked a little bit about that. I even wrote an article about your EQ settings, because I think people take for granted whatever that their EQ is on their amp. They don't bother messing with it. They don't bother. Like in fact, it may have been an article that you sent me. I can't remember, but it had something to do with because you posted it on our group page, I believe, that how to change the amp settings. Just listening for things like that.
Yeah,
You have to buy a new amp.
there's a lot of a lot going on, and even the tone knobs on your guitar.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and I'm one of the guilty ones that, you know, all my life I've just had them turned all the way up.
Right.
You know, it's like they're just, you know, but yeah, you can actually dial in some uh, pretty cool stuff, you know, with just the tone knobs on your guitar, and then getting to your amp, just tweaking it, you know. And sometimes I'll just sit down right in front of it and just tweak, you know, both ends at once, and then it depends on what guitar you're playing.
Right.
You know, like if you're playing a semi-hollow body, they're prone to feedback more.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have to kind of adjust your amp settings, you know, for that, and then write them down too. You know, and I actually saw I saw a Premier Guitar. They have a really great YouTube channel, and I saw it was Primus, their guitar player, and
really?
He had all of his amp settings and stuff. He just put a green sticker on each knob, and with a Sharpie pointing up. And that's how I remembered where the settings were. He goes, if all the arrows are pointing up, that's where I've dialed it in. That's where I want it. And so, because they're sensitive.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, just the slightest, you know, I know on like a Blues Junior, like what you play as well, you know, they're so sensitive.
Yes.
You know, where just the slightest, you know, like every tenth, you know, every notch, it changes. It's a pretty dramatic change.
Well, you know, and if you were to make a change, and I'm talking about just a slight purchase, and I know that with the less expensive guitars, like we talked about in episode 6, we talked about the less expensive guitars are going to have cheaper equipment, like the pots, your volume pot and your tone pots. And I've noticed that with the less expensive guitars, your tone pots, which are basically just roll-offs, it rolls off, you know, high and low and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That it's almost like it goes, you know, it's so quick. But if you buy a better quality pot, and once again, you know, with capacitors and that kind of thing, you know, I really don't understand as far as the electronics go. I understand the basic understanding. But a better quality capacitor, which those pots, your volume pot, or your tone pot, excuse me, you're going to have greater control over how much that you roll off. Just little things.
It's like on more expensive guitars, it's the tuning keys.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And I didn't know that until a couple of years ago. One of my friends was in Guitar Center with me and showed me the difference on like a Squier and like an American Fender,
really,
where the tone knob or the tuning keys, they're more sensitive. But you know, and something else you can do as well is your amp, tilting your amp. The Fender, was it the Twin Reverbs used to have these little feet on the back of them where, remember that? You fold them out, your amp would fold back, and you can even buy actually I think I have one for sale, but you can buy an amp stand that, I don't know, they're like $30 on Musician's Friend or something. But anyway, it puts your amp on there and it tilts it back a little bit.
Yeah.
So that center cone is kind of pointing up instead of straight out.
Every
makes a huge
little
difference.
bit helps. It does. And some people don't think about those little things. But before you go out and buy anything, you know, before you even make any changes to your guitar, just like Brian said, mess with your volume, your tone, your amp. Okay, but what about your effects pedals? Are there any effects pedals that you'd recommend for the beginner?
For the beginner, and that's another thing too. Keeping your effects pedals, keeping those clean, and trying to trace out any buzz or hum or anything. That helps a lot. I don't know. As far as for a beginner, I'd say like a distortion pedal. It's like a Boss, like a DS1 or whatever, like that orange pedal.
Yeah.
I mean that's what I start. That's what I still use.
Really.
You know, then you have like a dirty thing and a clean thing, and And that's a good start,
Yeah.
and then maybe onto like a chorus pedal and just kind of go from there. But and that's the thing, and pedals can help your tone, but they can also they can hurt it too.
Some people rely too much, and I
If
know
it's
that
too
for
over
years.
processed, then it doesn't sound like a guitar
Yeah.
anymore. And but if that's what you're going for, great. But
Yeah.
I don't know any. All I know, I've actually kind of gone. I'm getting more away from effects than into them. I mean, as far as more filter type effects like delay and stuff, I'll keep that. But to me, just a I'm a Fender guy, but just a guitar through an amp. I mean, just and really, here's another thing: use the room.
Yeah.
Think about the room you're in, where your amp is. It's going to have a different tone in the corner than it would sitting in the middle of the room or against the wall. And a lot of times, as far as recording acoustic guitar, I've done that in the bathroom. Great acoustics. It's a natural reverb, and so that really works. And especially when you are when you're into recording, sometimes the bass just sounds better behind that chair. I don't know why. It just does. And there's some things there's a lot of things with music and with guitars that you can't explain it.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
But and it's funny that you mention acoustics, because with electrics you have a lot more control, and I would say control in a way where you can manipulate it with turning a knob. With acoustic guitar is much different, because first off, with an acoustic and its tone, and I'm speaking of recording, just like Brian mentioned, that you are relying on where you're playing, how you're playing, that kind of thing, because and when you're buying an acoustic guitar, be happy with that sound. Do you want a deeper sound? Do you want a brighter sound? Because each acoustic guitar is going to sound different. But when you're recording it, that's where it makes a big difference, because where you're playing, where you're sitting, where the mic's at, and I'm sure that I'll do a mic I keep talking about maybe next time. Who knows?
I can't wait for the mic episode.
And in fact, I just used what I deemed, in fact, I name everything. I'm a dork. I name my guitars. I haven't named this one, but I named my condenser mic Big Hoss after Pawn Stars. I love Pawn Stars, and the old man.
I saw that on your Facebook this morning.
And rest in peace to the old man. But with Big Hoss, it's this nice big condenser microphone. It's from the '80s. It still sounds great, and it recorded great. But here's the thing: is that I had it about a foot away. I had this huge, large denture microphone, condenser microphone, and it was about a foot away. Sorry, my hand's in the way, but it was like a foot away. But because it captures everything. But was the EQ, was the tone perfect? No, I had to go back in, mess with the EQ. But you have to mess with the EQ in order to get your acoustic. Whereas with Brian's electric, you just go in, turn a few knobs on the amp or on your effects pedal, and you're generally good. So there's a little bit more fine tuning, sort of, on an acoustic, because you're talking about the sound is coming from here. You're not. Yes, you can plug it in, but anyways, I could go even deeper. But anyways, it gives you some ideas.
Yeah, totally. And like I said, start with what you have, especially with an electric.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what you've got first. You know, and it's everything clean. I mean, and what, of course, if you. And get to your tone slowly. Yeah. Don't try to, I've seen people, they'll go all out. They'll spend thousands of dollars, and it's like, well, to me, it's all about the journey. It's one thing at a time, because then it branches out into other stuff, and then, maybe that wasn't the tone you were looking for to begin with.
I have seen people. In fact, there's a local musician here. I'm not going to name his name, but in fact, I've actually played with him, and he was the biggest tone chaser I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he was always looking to buy. And me and my bass player were like, man, just learn the instrument, learn how the
Yeah.
basic, plug it into the amp, just listen to the just the essence of your instrument and the amp. Dial it in, then whatever. It's a building process, and I always say, build on what you have. Don't go and
Yeah.
start buying shit. That's pointless.
Yeah. Keep it old school,
Yes.
and try to make, well, like Frank Zappa used a pig nose amp,
Yeah.
and, and that's another cool thing. It's a little, got one around here somewhere. Anyway, it's one of those that you open up. It's like covered in leather, and then
Yeah.
it's got a little snap, and you open it. I'll get one out. I'll play it the next episode. If I remember.
Nice.
And but yeah, you can do, the more you open it and close it, that changes
Yeah.
the tone. So there's a lot of, when you get into the nuts and bolts of things. I mean,
Yes.
there's a lot of things you can do
Oh yeah.
on your own. Well, I mean, look at Eddie Van Halen. I reference him a lot. A lot of his tone, came from just, like dipping his, pots and stuff and
Yeah.
paraffin wax and whatever. I mean, whatever. And it's like,
Yeah.
or pots, pickups, whatever. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, that was the most hillbilly,
Yeah.
build it yourself,
Yeah. And he did. He built his own guitar, which is it's
yeah, he
crazy.
even had like a quarter, like
Yeah.
drilled in and to move to do something. It
Yeah.
served a purpose, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's part of what I enjoy about playing guitar is just the hobby. The hobbyist in me kind of I like to turn knobs and take shit apart, and, and even on your
Yeah.
guitars, before you scrap it, I bought this guitar. It's an Epiphone. It's just a Les Paul special.
Yeah.
It's like $130 online.
Yeah.
But I got it because it has P90 pickups in it. These
Really?
Far pickups. Yeah, and it's just a really cool rhythm. I use it when I
Yeah.
record for a lot of rhythm,
Yeah.
because you can get just a crisp. It doesn't leave anything out,
Right.
and,
Right.
so, but I mean, you can upgrade the guitar you have before you buy another one.
Yes.
And we'll get into more of that, upgrades and stuff on some other episodes. But you can,
Yeah.
And I've done this with guitars. You can upgrade your pickups. If it's a guitar
Yes.
that has old pickups or something, well, they're
Yeah.
oxidized or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of trying to make work with what you have before you.
If you've got a good foundation,
'Cause it's a black
you build
hole.
on that. It is. It's a black hole.
'Cause
You can
these-
build on that.
Yeah, I mean, these websites and these magazines and everything, they just want you to buy their crap.
Oh yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
care what you sound like. They're like, what is your credit card number and where can we send this shit? Because I got into that loophole.
If I only had these pickups, then I will for sure sound like
Yeah,
Eddie Van Halen for sure.
and
then,
I,
and then you get
I
them
went
like,
into
no.
that. Yeah, that's how I got so into gear. I got
Yeah.
into that loophole where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I need this pedal. Okay, well, now I need this pedal. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to upgrade my cables and this amp
Yeah.
and this. And it's just a black hole. You're just hemorrhaging money. And
Yes.
finally, it's like, okay, let me, let's
If I
start
only
here at
had
home.
this, if I
Yeah.
only had that, and we're like, no,
Totally. That's cool.
not anymore. No,
Yeah.
not anymore.
Yeah, it's gas. That's gear
Yeah.
acquisition syndrome.
Yes.
So
Well, we've
Yeah.
got a few minutes, so what are you feeling tonight? Do you feel like chicken tonight?
chicken actually sounds pretty good. I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Oh shit!
And now John's the cook. He makes up these recipes like pork chop spaghetti.
I do make some pretty interesting dishes, and I love
Yeah.
pork. I do.
Oh my god! And I'm sitting there like, oh, look what John's making tonight.
So.
Episode 7 is in the books.
We did another one. Thank you all. We appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe.
Like, comment, tell your mother and grandmother, and get the kids in on the action.
Friends, enemies, we don't
You're
care.
not going to get this kind of information anywhere else.
For free.
For free. This is priceless.
We've been doing this shit a long time, and we're going to save you money in the process.
Yeah, and we're always intoxicated.
Always.
So, you know, there you go.
We did it again.
We did it again. Good night, folks.
All right, we'll see you next time.